Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, Counter Spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve. Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into our time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
Jack Webb stars in an episode of Dragnet. This episode goes back to May 31st, 1955, and the episode is entitled The Big Sisters.
Ladies and gentlemen, the story you are about to hear is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent. You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned to burglary detail. An elderly woman reports that a man has stolen $300 from her apartment. She says she saw him. Your job? Check it out.
Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case transcribed from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Thursday, May 19th. It was sunny in Los Angeles. We were working the day watch out of burglary detail. My partner's Frank Smith. The boss is Captain Bernard. My name's Friday. We're on our way out from the office, and it was 3:47 p.m. when we got to a small apartment house on the corner of Olympic and 6th, the Topeka Arms.
What's that lady's name again, Joe?
Dunbetter, Martha Dunbetter.
Let's see. Yeah, here's her mailbox, number 8.
Must be upstairs.
Well, how do you figure that?
Only 8 mail slots means 8 apartments.
Yeah?
Stands to reason number 8 will be on the 2nd floor, don't it?
Oh, well, I suppose so. Hey, Joe, wonder who comes from Kansas.
What?
Well, didn't you notice the plaque out in front? Topeka Arms.
Yeah.
That's a city in Kansas. Topeka, Kansas.
Yeah, sure.
Well, somebody must have come from there, the owner or the builder. Why else would they give the place a name like that?
I don't know.
Well, it stands to reason, doesn't it?
I guess so.
Well, you see, you're not the only one who can do it.
Do what?
Deduce.
Oh.
That's what they call it, the way you figured out number 8's the 2nd floor. Deduction.
Yeah.
I was just giving you an example. When I proved that somebody connected with the building probably lived in Kansas.
Yeah.
Right down there. 8, just like you said.
Mm-hmm.
Deduction never fails, Joe.
Who's there?
Police officers.
Oh, well, just a second. I'm coming. My goodness, you certainly got back. Oh, well, dear me, you aren't the same ones, are you?
No, ma'am. This is Frank Smith. My name's Friday.
Well, there were 2 other policemen here just a little while ago. It's a shame you didn't know. Could have saved yourself a trip.
That's all right, ma'am. We knew they'd be here.
They're patrol car officers. They were in the neighborhood, so they answered your call.
Oh, well,
All right if we come in?
Oh, my, yes. Oh, yes. Please do.
You're Mrs. Martha Dunbetter, is that right?
No, not exactly.
Oh?
It's Miss Dunbetter. I'm still single.
I see.
Well, ma'am, would you mind telling us just what happened this afternoon?
Oh, no, I don't mind at all. It's still quite clear.
All right, would you go ahead?
What was that, young man?
As you go ahead about this afternoon.
Oh, well, now, let's see. I fixed myself some lunch. Then I rid up the dishes. Must have been about 1 o'clock by the time I finished.
All right.
Afterwards, I put on my hat and I went down to the library. It's only a couple of blocks from here, the Grover Cleveland branch.
Mm-hmm.
I took back my books and checked out 2 fresh ones.
All right. What happened next?
Well, I come home, there he was.
What's that?
I come home, and there he was.
Who?
Well, that awful man.
Well, just where was he?
Here, in my apartment.
No, I mean which room?
Over there, the bedroom.
I see.
As soon as I come in, I heard him. At least I heard somebody moving around. First, I thought it was Mrs. Parker, the manager. I know she sneaks into my apartment and noses around. Of course, she says she doesn't, but I know better.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I said to myself, I got her red-handed this time. So I marched into the bedroom all ready to give her a piece of my mind.
Well,
I was never so flabbergasted in my whole life. He was standing in front of the dresser, going through my pocketbook.
I see.
My black bag and leather. It's the one he was holding.
Mm-hmm.
Well, ma'am, how much money was in the bag?
Well, I'm not positive. Not to the penny. About $300.
In cash?
Yes, sir. You see, I've been saving dimes for the past 15 years.
You mean this $300 was in dimes?
Oh, goodness gracious, no.
Oh.
What I do is go through my change every night and put all the dimes in my dime bank. Then when it's full, I take it down to a real bank and change the coins into bills. A dime bank holds $25.
I see.
Oh, you'd be surprised how much a person can save that way. It mounts up.
Yes, ma'am. Do you know the denominations of the bills?
I guess they was mostly tens. Maybe one or two bigger ones.
Mm-hmm. Now, what did this man do next, Miss Dunbetter?
Well, he found the money. My $300. Stuffed it into his pockets. Then he just strolled out of the apartment big as life. I was too dumbfounded to do anything about it.
I see.
I heard him tramp down the stairs, and then I heard the front door slam. When I was sure he was out of the building, I managed to get my wits together and I dialed Central.
Central?
The operator. And she put me in touch with the police station.
Had you ever seen this man before, Miss Dunbetter?
No, I'm sure I never did.
Could you tell us what he looked like?
Well, he was a tall man.
How tall?
Big as you, I'd say.
Mm-hmm. What color hair, please?
Dark. Very dark.
Eyes?
Dark eyes, too. Dark complected. Like he'd spent a lot of time outdoors.
How was he dressed?
A shirt and pants and a jacket. Light-colored jacket. I think it was green.
Did you notice any scars?
Yes. Come to think of it, I did. Across his forehead. Thin little zigzag.
Mm-hmm. About how old would you say he was?
Oh, he's young. 35, maybe 40.
You know if anybody else saw him? The other tenants?
Well, I haven't talked to any of them. Haven't left the apartment since it happened.
You live alone here, do you?
Oh, my, no. My sister Bessie stays with me.
Where is she this afternoon?
Well, she went out of town for a few days to visit her grandson and his family. They came down from Oxnard to get her this morning.
I see.
Tomorrow's her birthday. She'll be 80. Expect they're going to have quite a celebration.
Yes, ma'am.
They're all carrying on. You'd think it was such an accomplishment.
Well, it is a pretty ripe old age, ma'am.
I don't see what's so ripe about it. After all, I'm nearly 79 myself. Oh, I know I don't look it. Everybody thinks there's at least 10 years between us. And Bessie is failing.
Yes, ma'am. Just a couple more questions, Miss Dunbetter.
Certainly, young man, certainly.
What time was it when you got home from the library?
2:45. Maybe a few minutes after. No later than 3, though.
I see. How'd this fellow get into the apartment? Was the door locked?
Well, I thought it was. I always try to remember to lock it whenever I go out, but sometimes I do forget. Well, I guess I did today.
You think you'd recognize the burglar if you saw him again?
I most assuredly would.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing the matter with my eyesight.
Oh, that's fine. We'd like to take you down to the office with us and show you some pictures.
No?
Just to see if you can identify him.
Well, I couldn't go like this. I'll have to change my dress first. Well, I'm all right for walking around the neighborhood, but not for going downtown.
Well, that's up to you, ma'am.
I'll say, Miss Dunbetter, while I think of it, who came from Kansas?
Oh, I'm afraid I don't understand.
Well, the name of this apartment, you see, is the Topeka Arms, so I figured somebody connected with it must have come from Kansas.
Oh.
You don't know who it was, do you?
Well, now, let me think. Oh, yes, I remember. That was old Mr. Hendrickson's idea.
Oh, well, you don't say.
Yes, he was the man who built this building. Well, now, that was, oh, goodness sakes, that was almost 35 years ago. My, how time flies.
Yes, ma'am. How you like that, Joe? This Mr. Hendrickson came from Kansas.
No. Minnesota. Minneapolis, as I recollect.
Oh?
But it was his idea just the same, calling it Topeka Arms. On kind of an article he read in the newspaper while the building was going up.
Ma'am?
Said there was more people in Southern California who come from Kansas than any other state.
Mm-hmm.
So Mr. Henderson figured the name Topeka would attract a lot of tenants. It's ridiculous nonsense. Said so at the time. There hasn't been a single solitary one.
Oh.
35 years. Not a soul from Kansas has ever lived here.
4:05 p.m. Frank and I put in a call to the crime lab. While Miss Dunbetter changed her dress, we checked the other apartments to see if anybody else had seen the burglar. Only one tenant was in. Mrs. J.T. Blade, apartment 6, informed us that she'd been out marketing at the time of the crime and had just returned home. 4:16 p.m. Lee Jones and a crew from the crime lab arrived. They began their investigation, and we drove Miss Dunbetter down to the city hall. We checked the oddity file and ran the suspect's description and M.O. through the stats office, and they came up with 17 possibles. We pulled mug shots and showed them to Miss Dunbetter. She was unable to make an identification. 6:13 p.m. Lee Jones reported no useful fingerprints or other physical evidence in the apartment. 6:46 p.m. We drove Miss Dunbetter home and we went off duty. The next day, May 20th, 11:17 a.m. I'll get it. Burglary Friday. Who's that? Oh, sure. Yeah. When'd he come in? I see. Oh? Well, I wouldn't know. What's he look like? Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'd like to. Right. Thanks a lot. That was Chubb Starks.
Who?
You know, Stark, the bartender over at the Yellow Cat.
Oh, yeah. What's he want?
The guy came into his place last night. He was carrying a pretty big roll. He threw it around, bought drinks for the house.
Yeah.
Got kind of loaded and did some talking about how easy he'd picked up the dough. Just walked in again this morning.
Huh. Sound like anything to you?
Well, Chubb says he's about 6 foot, black hair.
Yeah.
Scar on his forehead.
May 31st, 1955, Dragnet on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that's MediShare. Maybe you've heard switching to MediShare to pay for healthcare can save the typical family $500 a month, and that's huge, but it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The customer satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. MediShare works. It's been around for more than a quarter century, and members have shared more than $3 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. 833-34-BIBLE. That's 833-34-BIBLE. 833-34-BIBLE.
Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, more of Dragnet and the Big Sisters, as the show was originally broadcast May 31st, 1955.
Frank and I drove out to the Yellow Cat bar on Figueroa. Chubb Stark, the bartender, pointed out a husky man sitting in a corner booth. We went over to talk to him.
Keep your hands on the table and stand up.
Huh?
Police officers, on your feet.
Okay.
All right, you can sit down again.
Something eating you guys?
What's your name?
Why?
Come on, what is it?
Portlong, Ralph Portlong.
Where do you live?
Hotel around the corner?
How long you been staying there?
Since last night.
How about before that?
Back east, I just got in town yesterday.
Whereabouts back east?
What kind of a roust is this?
Where back east?
All over. Chicago, Cleveland, all over.
What kind of business you in?
Unemployed.
You got any money?
Some.
How much?
Look, I ain't no vag if that's what you're getting
How
at.
much money you got?
$100, maybe 150.
Where'd you get it?
I borrowed it.
Who from?
Pal.
In L.A.?
Chicago.
What's his name?
Johnson, Cliff Johnson.
You got his address?
I don't know. He moves around same as I do.
How you going to pay him back if you don't know where he lives?
We'll bump into each other.
What'd you say you got in town, Portland?
I told you yesterday.
What time?
6 o'clock, somewhere in there.
Yesterday morning?
Last night.
You sure then?
Yeah.
How'd you come? Train?
Car.
You own the car?
I hitched a ride.
Just where were you yesterday afternoon?
Riding into L.A.
All afternoon.
Yep.
What was the driver's name?
Look, how should I? And I've been hitching for the last week. I must have rode with 20 different guys.
You don't remember the one you were with yesterday?
Nope.
Ever been arrested, Portland?
Nothing serious.
Well, tell us about it.
Oh, drunk, that's all.
And where was that?
Ohio when I was a kid.
Anything else?
Yeah, I got some speeding tickets.
You ever been arrested in California?
Never been in California.
First trip, huh?
Yep. You ain't exactly making me feel at home either.
You know an apartment house called the Topeka Arms?
Whereabouts?
6th and Olympic.
Where's that?
In L.A.
Look, can't you get nothing straight? I ain't never been here before.
Mm-hmm.
How about giving me an answer? Why the roust?
All right, come on, let's go.
What for?
We'll show you the sights.
For instance?
City Hall. Frank and I took the suspect into custody for further questioning. 12:16 p.m. We ran the name Ralph Portlawn through R&I. They had nothing on him. We put out an APB with his description stating that he was in our custody. The bulletin requested any information about the suspect and was marked Attention Chicago PD and Cleveland Police Department. 2:18 p.m. We again interviewed Portlawn. He insisted he had not arrived in Los Angeles until 6 o'clock the previous evening and refused to say anything more. 4:06 p.m. We received replies to our APB on Portlawn. Chicago reported 2 convictions for grand theft auto, and Cleveland reported 1 conviction for burglary second degree. We telephoned Miss Dunbetter and arranged for her to attend a special show-up at the main jail. 6:17 p.m. The show-up was completed, and Frank and I took the victim back to our office.
Well, ma'am, you're sure it isn't the same man?
My goodness gracious, I ought to know.
Yes.
I don't see how you could have made such a mistake.
Well, he fits your description even to the scar.
But I told you it was ziggity-zag.
Yeah, you did.
This man's scar is entirely different.
Yes, ma'am.
His hair is wrong, too.
Is that right?
Other man had some gray in it right across here.
I thought you said he was fairly young.
But he doesn't have to be old to get gray. I've been gray ever since I had my appendix out. I was only 34.
All right. We'll have you taken home now.
It's really a shame.
Ma'am?
You arrested that poor fellow. He hasn't done anything.
Burglary Friday. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. When'd you get it? No, not yet. Will you notify him? Right. Well, I guess we don't need to feel too sorry for Portlawn.
What do you mean?
Another answer on our APB.
Yeah?
You were right, Miss Dunbetter. He couldn't have been your burglar.
Well, I told you, didn't I?
He was in Needles yesterday afternoon. He hitched a ride.
Yeah?
Slugged the driver. Ralph Portlawn was held pending arrival of authorities from Needles. The investigation of the apartment house burglary continued. 2 more suspects were brought in for questioning. Both men succeeded in establishing alibis for the time of the crime. Monday, May 23rd, 1:48 p.m. Frank and I were on our way back to the office from lunch.
How was your pie?
All right.
Just okay, huh?
I said it was all right.
Lemon meringue, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know, Joe. You should have had apple.
Mm-hmm.
I told you, stick with apple. You can't go wrong.
The lemon was good.
You didn't finish it.
I was full.
Yeah. Well, someday you'll learn.
Learn what?
Apple pie is always safe. You can't louse it up. Even a bad cook can't.
Well, I get a little tired of it once in a while, that's all.
Well, no reason you should. You can switch it around so many different ways.
Yeah, I know.
Cheese, a la mode, hot sauce. No reason to get tired of apple, Joe.
Sure.
Hey, Joe.
Yeah?
Call for you while you were out.
Oh?
Yeah, she wants you to call back. Here's the number.
Thanks.
Sure.
Bessie Maxon.
Who's that?
I don't know. Mrs. Maxon? This is the police department, Sergeant Friday. Yes, that's right. We were the ones. I guess we can. Well, is something wrong? You sure of that? All right, right away. Thank you for calling. Goodbye. Miss Dunbetter's sister, she just got back from Oxnard.
Yeah?
She says it never happened.
What do you mean?
The burglary. Says her sister made it up. Frank and I drove out to the Topeka Arms, and we went up to apartment number 8. It was 2:17 when we got there.
Somebody's coming again.
Well, what is it?
Ms. Maxon?
That's right, that's right.
Well, my name's Friday. I just spoke to you over the telephone.
No, yes, of course.
This is Frank Smith.
Oh, how do you do?
I do, ma'am.
Come right along inside.
Thank you.
I just don't know what to say. I suppose it's all my fault for going out of town. Should never have left Martha alone. Might have known she'd be up to something.
Are you positively sure about this, Miss Maxon?
About what? About what?
That there wasn't any burglary?
Oh, never in a million years.
Well, your sister gave us all the details.
Play acting, that's all it was. Play acting. She's done it all her life.
Oh, I see.
You mean Miss Dunbetter isn't...
My sister is as sane as you are, if that's what you're driving at.
Well, then why'd she tell us that story, do you know?
Haven't got the vaguest notion. She simply won't give me any explanation.
Oh, I see.
If the story was true, why won't she face me? Why is she hiding?
Hiding?
The minute I told her I was going to call you, she locked herself in the bathroom.
Is that right?
Been in there for 2 hours now. She simply refuses to come out.
Well, we'd like to talk to her if we can.
Yeah, I'll try again. Back to church here may have some influence.
You think we're getting a runaround, Joe?
Sounds that way, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Martha? Martha, you come out of there this instant. Martha Dunbetter, do you hear me? The policemen want to talk to you. Now come out. The police are here.
I won't never come out.
I never heard of such childishness. You see, I'm not able to do a thing with her.
Yes, ma'am.
Maybe if you speak to her, she'll come to her senses.
All right.
Oh, sister carrying on like this. I don't know how I'll ever be able to hold my head up again. It's scandalous.
Miss Dunbetter, this is Sergeant Friday. Miss Dunbetter, will you come out so we can talk to you? Miss Dunbetter?
Well, it's about time. Whatever were you thinking of, Martha? What got into you?
Not speaking to you, Bessie.
Let's go into the other room. Be easier to talk there.
Not speaking to me, huh? Well, two can play at that game. And I assure you, I won't be the one who suffers.
All right, ladies, would you like to sit down?
Squabbling there. May 31st, 1955, Dragnet on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. The conclusion of Dragnet and another part of a yours truly Johnny Dollar story follows these important messages from your favorite radio station. Hang on.
No offense, but are you a little fat when you look in the mirror? How would you like to learn the secrets to lose 3 to 5 pounds a week easily without joining the gym or going through any crazy diets? It's called Body Sculpt by Med Diet. For the last 2 decades, we've been helping people just like you that have pounds they want to shed. We've helped millions of people lose thousands and thousands of pounds over the years. And now it's your turn. Learn the secrets of how to lose weight with one simple phone call. You'll see an amazing difference in a matter of days. Don't believe us? We'll offer you a money-back guarantee. If you're ready to start losing weight right now, call right now to learn more about your risk-free order to Body Sculpt.
Call for your risk-free offer. 800-738-5332. 800-738-5332. 800-738-5332. That's 800-738-5332.
Are you in bad pain? You know what I mean. Your knees hurt. Your shoulder hurts. Your elbow and back are constantly killing you. And I'm sure you've tried every pain pill or cream available at the drugstore. Am I right? Well, here's something you haven't tried. Pain Magic. Pain Magic is not available at any drugstore. The only place you can get it is by calling the special toll-free number I'm about to give you.
And to make things even better, call right now and find out about our buy one, get one free offer. We're so confident it'll work for you that we offer a free bottle with your purchase. No prescription required.
Call now to learn how you can get Pain Magic and get rid of your pain. Remember, your results may vary.
800-492-8164. 800-492-8164. 800-492-8164. That's 800-492-8164.
Thank you for tuning in to Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Now the conclusion of Dragnet, The Big Sisters, May 31st, 1955.
Now, Miss Dunbetter, can we clear this thing up now? Your sister says there wasn't any burglary.
How would she know she wasn't here, was she?
I know because I know you. Ugh. And I know you never had $300 to your name.
I did, too.
Where'd you get it? Where'd you get it?
None of your business.
All right, now, how about it, Miss Dunbetter? Did you have $300? Well?
Never said it was exactly 300. Not to the penny.
$3 would be more like it.
There happens to be a few things you don't know about, including my savings.
A likely story. You never saved a penny in your life.
What about my dime
I
bag?
shook it the other day.
I'll thank you to keep your hands off my property.
Savings, indeed. If I didn't pay most of the expenses around here, you'd starve to death.
I managed quite well before you moved in on me, Bessie, and I was perfectly happy living alone. Matter of fact, I preferred that arrangement.
But maybe you'd like to try it again.
Maybe I would. I'm sure it'd be money ahead.
Huh.
Don't you hark me, Bessie Maxim. You ought to see the way she eats. Gobble, gobble, gobble. She shovels it down.
Stuff and nonsense. I don't have any more appetite than a bird.
Birds don't nip the cooking, Sherry.
Martha Dunbetter, how can you say such a thing?
Because I know it's true. I marked the bottle.
Well, whatever I do, I don't fib to the police like some people I could name.
Well, Miss Dunbetter.
I made exaggerated respect.
Mm-hmm.
You mean to do no harm?
I wonder if you know it's against the law to file a false police report.
Against the law?
There. You see? You're going to jail. I knew it would happen. I knew that sooner or later you'd disgrace all of us.
Why'd you do it? You must have had a reason, ma'am.
I won't tell you. Not in front of her, I won't.
Oh. Well, let's see. Would you mind waiting in the other room for a couple of minutes, Ms. Maxon?
I most certainly would.
We'd appreciate it if you would.
No, very well. Very well. You'd think I was the criminal around here.
All right, Miss Dunbetter, tell us now, will you?
It's very difficult to explain.
Well, give it a try, will you?
You see, it was all on account of her. Bessie.
Go ahead.
Started when we was little girls. It's 'cause she's older. She's always lording it over me. Mom and Daddy always gave her everything first. Hand-me-downs, it's all I got. Bessie's hand-me-downs.
I see.
And when we grew up, I couldn't push myself very much. She's just the opposite, belle of the ball. She had a pick of all the young gentlemen in town. Only time they'd take me out was when Bessie was busy. I don't think she didn't let me know that I was second choice. The only reason she married Horace because he took a fancy to me. Well, I had my pride, too. Wouldn't settle for her leftovers. That's why I stayed single.
I see.
The least she could have done was name one of her little girls after me. After all, I'm her only sister.
Well, Miss Dunbetter, you still haven't told us why you reported the burglary.
I'm telling you.
Yes, ma'am.
On account of her birthday. Well, that was the last straw. She hasn't talked about anything else for months and months. It's 'cause she's 80 years old, you'd think she was the Queen of Romania. A picture in the paper of people making a fuss about her. Well, I made up my mind that for once in my life someone was going to make a fuss about me.
I see.
To tell you the truth, I'm not a bit sorry I did it. I mean, yes, I should be sorry. But I'm not. I really enjoyed myself. And all those questions you asked me, like I was somebody. My name was in the papers, too. First time it ever happened. It's strange when you come to think about it, to live 79 years without ever seeing your name in print. Oh, but that wasn't the best part.
Ma'am?
The best part was Bessie not being able to horn in and take all the credit. Oh, I knew you'd find me out sooner or later, but I didn't care. I sure had to laugh on her. All the time she's in Oxnard being partied, I was having a little party of my own.
Yeah, well, you know you didn't need to put us through all this, Miss Dunbetter. You're almost 80 yourself.
It's over a year away. When you're my age, you can't be sure of anything.
Yes, ma'am.
Besides, even when I'm 80, Bessie will still be ahead.
How's that?
She'll be going on 90.
The story you've just heard is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent.
On May 26th, the hearing was held in the office of Perry Thomas, city attorney. Due to the advanced age of Miss Martha Dunbetter, and because of her assurances that she would never repeat her actions, no charges were filed against her.
Better schools build better communities. Join and work with your fellow citizens who are actively seeking to improve educational conditions.
You have just heard Dragnet, a series of authentic cases from official files. Technical advice comes from the Office of Chief of Police W.H. Parker, Los Angeles Police Department. Technical advisors Captain Jack Donahoe, Sergeant Marty Wynn, Sergeant Vance Brasher. Heard tonight were Ben Alexander, Virginia Gregg, Jack Crucian, Helen Cleve. Script by Frank Burt. Music by Walter Schumann. Hal Gibney speaking.
May 31st, 1955, Dragnet on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
Are you suffering with arthritis or osteoporosis? Do you have diabetes? Did you know that these are just two of the hundreds of diseases that have seen improvement with Dr. Wallach's incredible longevity products? You can't get them at a health food store. The only way to get them is to call us at 800-214-0065. That's 800-214-0065. Do you have heart disease, fibromyalgia, or high blood pressure? Do you have a terrible time losing weight? Dr. Wallach can help. He was a veterinarian and cured diseases in animals. He felt that he could do the same for humans, so he became a physician. Over 50 years of research and helping people like you goes into every bottle of Dr. Wallach's amazing discoveries. Do you want to feel better? Learn how to treat the cause of your problem rather than covering up the symptoms with drugs. Call 800-214-0065. That's 800-214-0065.
Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, Part 4, the 5-part yours truly Johnny Dollar story, The Reasonable Doubt Matter. This episode originally broadcast May 31st, 1956.
From Hollywood, it's time now for...
Johnny Dollar.
You're there.
Sure, I'm here. What?
I mean, at your hotel.
Is this Susan?
That's right. Why aren't you out there, Mr. Dollar?
Out where?
On the old boulder cutoff. If I'm supposed to meet you there in 15 minutes, you're going to have
Wait a minute. What the devil is this all about? Where'd you get any idea I was supposed to meet you?
From your friend.
What?
Sure, he phoned here a few minutes ago. He said I should slip away from the ranch, take the station wagon, and meet you over on the old road right away. I just phoned your hotel on the off chance that...
I don't imagine he gave his name.
No, and I didn't recognize the voice.
Susan, listen. Get away from there right away. Don't go near that road. Come straight here to my hotel. Do you understand?
Yes, but why? What's it all about?
Never mind. Just get here and get here fast while you're still alive.
Tonight and every weekday night, Bob Bailey in the transcribed adventures of the man with the action-packed expense account, America's fabulous freelance insurance investigator.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar. From Special Investigator Johnny Dollar, location Las Vegas, Nevada, to the Home Office, Amercon Northern Trust Company, Hartford, Connecticut. Assignment, the matter of reasonable doubt. It was only 9:30 p.m., less than 2 hours since I'd thrown my rock into the pool to stir up the fish. I'd expected results, sure, but not this fast, and not this deadly. I'd picked a gambling casino owner named Deuce McCoy as my broadcaster, and I'd let him know who I was, why I was here, and what I was going to do. Apparently, the news had gone out fast. But I couldn't figure this move. Even with young Susan out of the way, they still couldn't get their hands on her grandmother's estate. It didn't make sense. At least, not right then. One thing, though, that I was sure of. If Susan Gramley had driven out that deserted road alone, she'd have never come back. Not alive. Who is it?
It's me, Mr. Dollar.
All right, just a second. Well, come on in, Susan.
Thanks. I guess it's I, though. I mean to be correct.
I don't care whether it's I or me, just as long as it's you.
Say that again?
Oh, skip it. You have any trouble?
I missed the green light at Fremont and 5th.
Anybody follow you from the ranch?
Nope.
Who was there when you left?
All of them. Uncle Walter and Hilda had just come in. Together. Can you beat it?
Well, then it wouldn't have been Walter who phoned you.
Oh, not him. He's got a kind of a sneaky undertone. I'd have recognized him right away.
And you didn't recognize the voice on the phone?
No. He didn't say much, just that he was a friend of yours, and you wanted me to meet you right away, so I said okay, and he hung up.
I see.
Well, maybe you do, but I don't. Oh, what did you mean when you said, get here while you're still alive?
I wish I knew. Look, Susan, that phone call wasn't just a practical joke.
Then you do know.
I know somebody was trying to get you out on that desert alone tonight, and they weren't trying it just for laughs.
You mean they...
I mean the luckiest thing you ever did was to pick up that phone and call this hotel.
But why, Mr. Dollar? Why would anybody want...
That's what I don't know. I don't see what they'd hope to gain by it. They know the trust hasn't been set up yet. Your grandmother's still in control of the property, not you.
Look, excuse my ignorance, but I don't think I know what you're talking about.
Well, maybe it's time you did, since you seem to be right in the middle of it now. Look, Your grandmother decided to set up an insurance trust and convey all her holdings over to you.
To me? Gran was going to do that.
Jonas Parks at the Flint Rock Bank started proceedings, then got cold feet. He got the idea there was something screwy behind the whole thing. So he wired Hartford, and the trust company sent me out here to investigate.
But Gran never said a word. She didn't even mention it.
She was scared to death, afraid Walter and Hilda would find out and block her off, have her declared incompetent, get control of the estate, and leave you clear out in the cold. She thinks a lot of you, Susan.
Gran's the most, isn't she?
How did she seem when you left? Back on her feet?
Oh, better than she's been in months. More relaxed. I guess she's counting on you, Mr. Dollar.
Yeah, well, I wish I could be sure she could.
Look, that phone call I got, if Uncle Walter and Hilda weren't behind it, then who was?
Oh, I don't know. I'm pretty certain that by now they know who I am and why I'm here. And they know I'm out to get them. I dropped the word a couple of hours ago. I figured they'd react all right, but I didn't expect this move against you.
But there has to be somebody else in on it, Mr. Dollar. Neither of them made the phone call.
Yeah, I know.
But nobody else even knew about the trust.
Jonas Parks did, and Will Connors of the Weekly Tribune.
But they've been friends of Gran's for years and years. They wouldn't do anything to harm her.
I didn't say they would.
And they couldn't have had anything to do with the accident that killed my parents. Nobody could have, except Hilda and Uncle Walter.
Unless, of course, it was just an accident.
Oh, you know better than that, Mr. Dollar.
Oh, I'm beginning to wonder if I actually know very much about any of this. Susan, listen, how scared are you?
Oh, I'm not scared at all. I'm just bewildered, I guess.
Good, then you won't be afraid to stay here alone for a while.
Of course not. Sounds kind of grown up, in fact.
Yeah, well, all right then. Don't leave the room. Keep the door locked and don't let anybody in. If someone should try, call the manager and have him call the police. Don't answer the phone unless it rings twice. That'll be me. Got it?
Got it.
Good. Hey, there are a couple of magazines there on the nightstand.
Can I ask you what you're going to do, Mr. Dollar?
Sure, you can ask. See you later, Susan.
Stinker.
Evening, young fella. Kind of hoping you'd drop around.
Wasn't sure I'd find you here, Mr. Connors, this time of night.
Oh, the paper comes out tomorrow, Mr. Dollar.
Oh, sorry, I didn't know.
I always stay around late the night before press day, just in case a big story breaks.
Sure.
Got to be here, you know, to break down the front page and remake the galley and all. Them's technical terms, of course.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping you might have a story for me by now. Maybe that scoop we was talking about?
Nope, not yet.
Well, I can hold the press until 9:30 a.m. in the morning, but that's the last doggone final 0 hour. And a minute later, come calamity, cataclysm, or high water, the Tribune has got to roll.
Yeah, sure. Well, maybe you'll have your scoop before 9:30, Mr. Connors.
You mean you're working on a clue?
Check.
Hot dog.
Yep, you said it.
You getting close to the denouement?
To the what?
Denouement. Yeah, that's a technical word. That's when the detective always pounces.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm not about to pounce at the moment, Mr. Connors.
Yeah, well, keep your voice down, son.
Why? There's nobody else here.
You never know on this kind of a case.
Well, let's take a chance.
All right. I'm game if you are.
Good. I've got a couple of questions I'd like to ask you.
Shoot, son.
You know anything about a gambler named Deuce McCoy? Owns the Lead Balloon Casino over across town?
Well, I know who he is, all right. He don't own it, though. He just runs it for a syndicate.
Works on a salary, you mean?
Salary and percentage, I reckon. He ain't getting rich on it, though. Not the way he lets it get away from him.
On what?
Just 2 words, son. Women.
Hilda Gramley wouldn't be one of them, would she?
Well, it's a new one on me if she is. Of course, you live and learn.
Yeah, you sure do.
Yeah, and be right cozy if something like that was going on. Her husband spends half his time in McCoy's place.
Yeah, I know.
You figure Deuce McCoy's tied in on this Gramley thing?
I don't know. You want to do me a favor, Mr. Connors?
Well, just sing it out, young fella, with this scoop.
Well, listen, young Susan Gramley is in my room over at the hotel.
You don't say so. Well, but
Never mind, it's a long story. I hate to have her there alone. So how about going over and babysitting for a while?
Sure, I'd be glad to.
All right, I'll phone her first so she won't lay you out with an ashtray. And I'll keep in touch with you. If there's a story, you'll get it. Meanwhile, clam up.
Right.
I'll see you later.
Yeah, do you pack a gun, Mr. Dollar?
Sometimes. Why?
Deuce McCoy does, too. All the time.
The evening was just starting in the lead balloon, with 2 crab tables already in action, 2 more standing by, and a roulette wheel warming up. No one paid any attention when I walked back through the casino to the office. I waited what I considered a reasonable length of time, then tried the knob. The door was unlocked.
Go on, Buster. Beat it.
The girl was alone in the office, sprawled back on the sofa, drink in her hand. And it was pretty obvious it wasn't her first one, nor her second or third. She'd have been a real knockout, sober.
What's the matter? Don't you understand English? I said get out.
Where's McCoy?
What's it to you?
Feeling no pain, huh?
Oh, cut it, Buster.
Must have been a pretty big pain, though, earlier, if it's taken this much to kill it.
Go on and get out of here. What do you think you are to talk like that?
Johnny Dollar, who are you?
Get away from that desk. If Deuce finds you messing around in here, he'll kill you.
Even if I told him I was a close friend of yours?
You rat. I'll call one of the boys and get you thrown out of here.
Oh, I wouldn't. Might make an awful scandal. And I don't think Deuce would want that. Not right at present.
What are you talking about?
Oh, come now. You're in it too, aren't you?
No, you're not with the police. I know them all. You're FBI.
Oh, what makes you say that?
Look, if Deuce is in a jam, I don't know anything about it.
What's your name?
Nicky. Nicky Vernon.
All right, Nicky, sit down and relax.
Whoops.
Now, where's Deuce McCoy?
Think if I knew I'd be sitting here by myself, lushing it up?
I suppose you were McCoy's girl before Hilda Gramley cut you out.
Cut me out, nothing. That rotten little sneak's been asking for it, and I'm about ready to give it to her,
Was she
too.
here this evening?
You see any blood on the rug? Just let me catch that dirty
Shut
little...
up, Nicky, and sit down, will you? Now, what about Walter Gramley? Was he here?
Yeah, earlier. He was here in the office for about an hour. I don't know what they talked about. Deuce made me get out.
And Deuce left right afterwards?
Oh, half an hour or so. He had to wait to make a phone call first.
I see. Well, if you're smart, you'll forget him, Nicky. I've got a hunch he's not coming back.
Sure. He's gonna go off with that dirty...
Knock it. He's going off because he's in a jam. That's one thing you were right about. And by now, he must know the whole thing is falling apart. I think he'll try to run for it.
I ought to kill that dame.
Why? Why don't you throw away that bottle and forget about him? He's no good, Nicky. You know that, don't you?
Sure, I know it.
Then why are you beating your heart out over him?
You've never been a woman, have you, Mr. Dollar?
Now, here's our star to tell you about the final intriguing episode of this week's story.
Tomorrow, I tag the pitch too late, and a runner gets home. The score? 1-0 in favor of death. Join us, won't you? Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar, starring Bob Bailey, is transcribed in Hollywood. Written by Les Crutchfield, it is produced and directed by Jack Johnstone. Be sure to join us tomorrow night, same time and station, for the next exciting episode of Yours truly, Johnny Dollar. Roy Rowan speaking.
May 31st, 1956, yours truly, Johnny Dollar on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please thank this station and support their advertisers. It is their kindness and courtesy that allows us to be with you each and every time we roll around here on your favorite station. Also, if you miss a day, you don't have to miss a show. You can hear our shows through Spotify, Spreaker, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, or Amazon just by searching for Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. And if you like our shows, visit my webpage, classicradio.stream. There you can stream the shows. You can learn about classic radio collecting. You can contact me and even drop me a tip if you like in our tip jar. That's at classicradio.stream, and tell all your friends the great radio shows are right here at this spot on the dial. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite radio station.